Hello, my name is George Arabbu Ndege. I'm the Vice President of AAK. Social habitat is an approach to urban planning where holistic ideas are put together to create a place where people live that is both integrated and inclusive for various activities that are related to living. So currently in Kenya, the status of what we call social habitat is, I would say, deplorable, and hence the discussions around the issues of affordable housing, because for us, we are looking at it in terms of how to scale it up from just talking about the housing and the accessibility of it to the whole approach of looking at housing as a social good. And at the end of the day, currently in Kenya, we have a very big problem. First of all, we have the deficit of housing, that's one, but we also have the deficit of related amenities that make housing habitable. So when you talk about social, it's about the whole livelihood of a person. And then when you talk about habitat, it's about the environment, both the built and the natural environment, and the various activities that are for public good, that make the idea of living as a social being worth the while. If you look at it from the perspective of who is required to be within this discussion, social habitat actually calls for inclusivity of everyone. So when you look at a city, what is the demographic? You have people who are living within this space and they need to relate. That's what makes a good urban space. So looking at it from the perspective of the actors, looking at the perspective of policy makers, looking at it from it as a perspective of the community at large, and within the community also looking at the various demographics, the different age groups, the different cultural groups. All these people need to be brought together, because within cities you're talking about small spaces and all these hodgepodge of activities happening, people with different interests. So once you bring them in, to bring their cultural nuances, to bring in their political views, to bring in their age group needs, then all these people, when they come and talk together, you'll always find a common ground where they can be able to agree on what a habitat, and in this case a social one, needs to look like. For purposes of our convention that we have planned, the delegation needs to include almost anyone who has an interest. One, in terms of they are there as actors who are enabling the environment to be created, but also the people who are going to be the beneficiaries. And the beneficiaries here, we're talking about mostly home ownership. So if you intend to, for example, to come up with, you are thinking of creating a home for your family, you are probably better off to come and understand, where do the actors come from and where do I plug in? What is the best way to come together and create social habitats? So if you look at it from the perspective, I would like to encourage mostly, one, homeowners needs to be there because they are the main stakeholders. And then of course the actors, who could be the professionals and the builders out there who might not necessarily be members of AAK, but are out there busy building, the developers, and very importantly, of course, policy makers, that is the government and local authorities, who are the ones who do oversight on the actual building and planning of these spaces. See you at the Whitesands this summer.